Maybe the reason you feel behind is because the world taught you to run before it ever taught you to listen. From a young age, we were trained to chase, to move fast, to keep up, to never stop. But no one told us how to pause, how to feel, how to simply be. We measure our worth in milestones, in degrees, in jobs, in the numbers next to our name. We compare timelines like lives or races, and we panic when we feel late. But not everything that grows quickly. Some roots take longer to find the earth. Some flowers bloom only after long winters. And so maybe you're not behind. You're just on a different rhythm, a quieter, deeper, truer one. And maybe the noise around you, the timelines, the metrics, the pressure, isn't a sign that you're failing, but a distraction from what you're becoming. The truth is, becoming is rarely loud. It doesn't always come with applause or clear signs. Often, it's silent. It's lonely. It's invisible. But it's happening. In every small act of courage, in every quiet morning, you choose to rise again. You are becoming in the pauses, not just the progress, and the questions, not just the answers, the waiting, not just the winning. You are not lost. You are unfolding. This journey is not a race. It is a revelation. Every step, no matter how slow, how uncertain, is sacred. You are not falling behind. You are becoming. They moved ahead, and you stood still. But what if stillness was exactly where you were meant to begin? We've been taught to measure life like a race, one with finish lines, milestones, and medals. By 25, you should be here. By 30, you should have that. But no one ever told us this. Time doesn't unfold the same for every soul. And just because you're moving slower doesn't mean you're not moving at all. Look closer. Some seeds sleep longer beneath the soil. The bamboo stays underground for years, growing roots, preparing, strengthening, and when the time comes, it grows faster than anything around it. You are not late, you are laying foundation, and foundations are silent. Stoicism reminds us, it's not what happens outside that defines you, but how you respond within. Being behind is just a perspective, one shaped by comparison, by fear, by timelines that were never yours to follow. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Don't waste time worrying about what others are doing. You were born for a task. That task? Becoming yourself." The mind loves to panic in quiet seasons. It whispers, "Why are you still here?" But not every season is meant for harvesting. Some seasons are for tending, watering, resting, and the Stoics knew. True strength is found in accepting the pace of nature, not forcing it. Let the world run ahead. Let it shout. Let it rush. Your path doesn't need noise to be worthy. Stillness is not weakness. It's clarity. It's the refusal to be moved by chaos. Epictetus taught that the only control we have is over our will, our choices, our thoughts, our focus. And choosing calm when others choose panic, that's mastery. You are not falling behind. You are being shaped in ways no one sees. And one day, the world will look at you and say, "How did they get there so suddenly?" But you will know. It was never sudden. It was patient, quiet, relentless. So take a breath. Stop chasing someone else's clock. You are not behind. You are becoming. And in this moment, this very breath, you are exactly where you need to be. You weren't meant to be them. They weren't meant to be you. So why do you suffer from someone else's timeline? We rarely feel behind until we look sideways. Someone shares a success story, a highlight. And suddenly our own pace feels like failure, not because it is, but because it isn't theirs. What once felt peaceful becomes pressure. What once felt like progress becomes panic. But remember this: comparison is the enemy of presence, and presence is where becoming happens. The Stoics knew this danger well. Marcus Aurelius warned us, "Be content with what you are, and wish not to be something else." But that's hard, isn't it? When the world shouts over you, when every scroll is a scoreboard, we begin to trade our own rhythm for theirs. We don't notice it at first, but slowly, we hand over our self-worth to someone else's narrative. Comparison doesn't just distract, it erodes. It convinces you that your story is too slow, too quiet, too simple. It whispers that your life needs more shine, more applause, more speed. But what if becoming isn't meant to be loud? What if real growth happens in stillness, in patience, in walking a path no one else can see? Epictetus taught us to focus only on what we can control. Our thoughts, our actions, our attention, in comparison, is never under your control. You cannot control how fast they succeed. You cannot control when their moment comes. But you can choose where your eyes go. And where your eyes go, your soul follows. We lose ourselves when we chase someone else's race. Their life may look perfect, but you don't know the price they paid for it. You don't know what it cost them to shine. You don't know what they lost to get there. And often they don't know either. The Stoics remind us. Peace comes not from getting more, but from wanting less. Wanting less of their life and more of your own. The truth is, you are not behind. You are simply on a different road, one with turns and pauses that were carved exactly for your becoming. There is no medal for arriving first in a life that was never yours to live. The prize is presence. The reward is peace. And peace cannot exist where comparison rules. So next time you feel left behind, look inward. Come back to your breath. Come back to your pace. You are not them. And that's not a flow, it's a gift. Because only in being fully yourself can you become who you were always meant to be. You think time is leaving you, but what if it's waiting for you to finally arrive? There is a quiet panic that lives beneath most of us, the sense that we are running out of time, that every minute wasted is a life unlived, that if we don't move faster, achieve sooner, arrive quicker, we will be forgotten. But Stoicism reminds us, time is not a master to chase, it is a canvas to shape. And no artist creates beauty by rushing the brush. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Yet what does waste mean, truly? Is rest a waste? Is healing a waste? Is silence a waste? Or have we simply inherited a culture that measures worth by movement and labels stillness as failure? Time doesn't flee from you, it unfolds around you. But to see it, you must slow down. The present moment isn't small, it's spacious, expansive. And when you stop sprinting into the future, you realize this moment holds everything you've been chasing. Peace, purpose, breath. The Stoics lived close to death, not out of fear, but out of clarity. Memento mori. Remember, you must die, not to scare you, but to wake you, to shake you out of distraction and into direction. When you realize life is short, you don't rush, you become intentional. You begin to choose with care, with depth, with love. What's running out isn't time, it's your attention, your presence, your ability to truly be where you are. When you reclaim that, time opens, it stretches. It stops being your enemy and becomes your companion. A gentle hand on your shoulder, reminding you that now is enough. You don't need to chase the clock. You need to cherish the now. Not because it's all you have, but because it's where everything begins. Becoming isn't something far away. It's happening right here, in the way you breathe, the way you choose, the way you stay. So pause, not because you're giving up, but because you're tuning in. You're aligning with the only truth the Stoics ever needed. The present is the only time you truly own. And from that place, your life will rise, not as a race, but as a becoming. Stillness isn't the absence of movement, it's the presence of mastery. In a world obsessed with hustle, stillness looks suspicious. If you're not constantly moving, you're labeled lazy. If you're not visibly striving, you're accused of wasting potential. But the Stoics knew something deeper. True power isn't loud. It's composed, measured, unmoved. Stillness to them wasn't idleness. It was sovereignty over the self. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when we no longer react to every impulse, every opinion, every storm outside us. To remain still while the world pulls at youth, that is not weakness, that is strength forged in silence. Because anyone can move with the chaos, but it takes discipline to remain grounded while everything else spins. Stillness is resistance. It's not against growth, but against noise. It's saying, I will not be rushed by fear. I will not be ruled by comparison. I will not abandon myself just to appear busy. When you choose stillness, you choose to listen. You begin to hear your real voice beneath the static. And that voice has been waiting. Marcus Aurelius often returned to his journal to clear the fog of his mind. He didn't run from himself. He sat with his thoughts calmly because he understood. Clarity doesn't come from speed, it comes from stillness. In a quiet mind, we can finally ask the real questions. Who am I becoming? What truly matters? What am I here to do? The strength to be still is not passive, it's active. It's a practice, like breathing through discomfort, like sitting with pain without escaping it, like choosing peace over proving. And in those moments, you're not falling behind, you're digging deeper. Rooting yourself so that when the storm passes, you don't just survive, you remain. Stillness prepares you. It restores you. It sharpens the blade of your awareness so that when action is needed, it's not frantic, it's focused. The Stoics were warriors of the inner world. They knew that before you can lead, create, or endure, you must first master the silence within. And that silence is not empty. It's full of power. So next time you feel like you're doing nothing, remember, stillness is not nothing. It's the sacred ground where becoming begins. Let others rush. Let them burn out. You're learning the strength of being still. And that quietly is how you rise. If your path feels messy, confusing, or out of order, that doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're becoming. We like to imagine growth as a staircase. It's one clean step after another, always going up, always forward. But becoming isn't like that. It stumbles, it circles, it pauses. Sometimes it looks like progress, sometimes like chaos. But the Stoics understood a straight line is not a requirement for meaning. It is the crooked paths that often teach us who we are. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." And what are difficulties if not detours? If not the unexpected turns, delays, collapses, and climbs? You are not weak because your journey is inconsistent. You're not lost because you've paused. You're simply walking a human path, one that folds back on itself, only to move you deeper. We are not machines. We heal slowly. We unlearn. We make the same mistake twice, or 10 times, until it finally breaks through. And each time we think, I should be further by now. But according to who? According to what map? The Stoics teach us to measure progress by virtue, not velocity. By alignment, not achievement. Your setbacks are not the opposite of becoming, they are part of it. The relapse, the burnout, the heartbreak. The days when you feel like you're back at the beginning. These moments aren't erasing your growth, they're refining it. Growth is not linear because life is not linear. You are allowed to evolve in spirals. To become is not to be perfect. It is to be honest. To be present with what is messy, unresolved, incomplete. The Stoics would sit with discomfort, not as punishment, but as purification. They understood that clarity comes from staying when it would be easier to run. And that character isn't revealed in perfection, but in perseverance. So if you're tired of starting over, remember, you're not. You're not starting over. You're starting deeper. From wisdom, from wounds, from truth. No step is ever wasted, no detour meaningless, no pause a failure. Because even when the map is unclear, the path is still forming beneath your feet. Let go of the illusion of a straight line. Let yourself be a mosaic, a novel. A life that doesn't make sense until the final page. You're not falling behind, you are unfolding. And every bend in the road is bending you toward becoming. You don't owe anyone the person you used to be. There's a subtle pressure in staying the same. People get used to your patterns, your choices, your limits. They build a version of you in their minds, and the moment you begin to shift, they resist. Not because they don't care, but because change is uncomfortable. But hear this clearly. You are allowed to evolve beyond their expectations. The Stoics believed in daily transformation. In the quiet discipline of reshaping the soul, Marcus Aurelius wrote, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Not strict in cruelty, but in integrity. In allowing yourself to release what no longer serves you, even if it once defined you. Change is not betrayal. Outgrowing your past doesn't mean disrespecting it. It means honoring your growth. It means recognizing that who you were was a stepping stone to who you are becoming. And no one, not even you, should demand that you stay small just because it's familiar. You are not meant to be static. Even the Stoic concept of self-mastery isn't about rigidity. It's about alignment, about becoming more truthful, more intentional, more free. And sometimes that means letting go of identities that once felt safe, habits that once gave you comfort, stories that once made you feel seen. The world may not applaud your change. They may not understand it. They may say you've changed as if it's a flaw. But what they really saying is, you've stepped outside the version of you I understood. That's not your burden, that's their lens. Your responsibility is to your own becoming, not their comfort. So when you feel the pull to shift, to heal, to grow, to redefine yourself, don't apologize. Don't explain it away. Just walk forward, quietly, bravely, with clarity. Because you are not meant to remain who you were, just to make others feel certain. You are allowed to change, again and again. You're allowed to start over. You're allowed to outgrow. You're allowed to leave behind even the person you thought you'd always be. Because every time you change with intention, you're not becoming someone else. You're becoming more of who you truly are. We grow up in a world that worships results. Since we were children, we've been taught that our worth lies in our achievements, as if life were a finish line to be crossed, not a journey to be lived. But beneath all that pressure lies a deeper truth. We can never truly control the outcome. What we can control is who we are on the way there. Epictetus once said, "Don't seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather wish that what happens happens the way it should, then you will find peace." These words aren't a call to give up, but an invitation to be free. Free from the illusion of control, free from the anxiety of whether our efforts will ever pay off. Because the truth is, life doesn't always reward effort fairly. You can work hard, love deeply, give your best, and still not receive what you hoped for. But that's where true strength lives. In being able to hold on to your values even when the world doesn't reward them. When you cling too tightly to the result, you lose the beauty of the process. You miss the lessons, the depth, and your connection to the present moment. But when you let go of the outcome, you start to live. You begin to be here fully. And ironically, it's often in the moment you stop chasing so desperately that good things start to come. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care deeply. But you no longer place all your meaning in the result. You plant, you water, you nurture, and then you trust. You trust that if you stay true to the process, to kindness, to effort, then you have already won no matter what comes. This is the Stoic art of being human, to walk without demand, to strive without expectation, to give without needing anything in return. Because real freedom isn't found in control, it's found in being able to say, I did my part, and that is enough. And maybe, just maybe, when you truly let go of the outcome, you'll finally discover something greater. Peace, wholeness, and the quiet strength of who you really are. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. You are on a path that is yours alone, imperfect, quiet, and meaningful. The world may race ahead, but you are becoming, at your own pace, with your own rhythm. And that rhythm has wisdom. Not everyone is meant to bloom in spring. Some seeds wait for the weight of snow to melt, for the long patience of winter to give way to something more honest. So don't curse your slowness. Honor it. In your stillness, a deeper root is forming, one that can weather more than the surface ever could. Stoicism teaches us not to compare our journey with the noise of others, because true progress isn't measured by pace, it's measured by depth, by how honestly you show up each day, by how gently you carry your pain, by how consistently you return to your values, even when it's quiet, even when no one's watching. You don't need to catch up. You need to trust. Trust that becoming takes time, that growth is messy, that healing doesn't happen on a timeline, that your pace, however slow, however uncertain, is shaping you into someone solid, someone whole, someone ready. Let this be the season where you stop rushing and start listening. Just listening to your breath, your needs, your intuition. The world may glorify speed, but life honors truth. And the truth is, you are evolving in ways that numbers cannot measure. So take a breath. Look back, not with regret, but with reverence. See how far you've come, not in miles or milestones, but in who you've become when no one was looking. You didn't fall behind. fell into yourself. And maybe that's what all of this was for. Not to keep up, but to finally come home to who you were meant to be. In a world obsessed with speed, becoming is the quiet revolution. You've walked through doubt, silence, slow days, and unseen effort. And maybe that's the point. You've kept walking. You've kept becoming even when no one was watching, even when you didn't know where it would lead. Because becoming isn't something you finish, it's something you live. It is not a destination waiting for your arrival, but a mirror reflecting who you're slowly learning to be. Resilient, patient, present. You're not here to meet a deadline. You're here to meet yourself. You are not behind. You're becoming more grounded in your values, more aware of your strength, more compassionate with your inner voice. And while the world rushes forward chasing illusions, you are learning to walk inward, where the real journey begins. So take a breath. Let go of the pressure, forgive the pace. And remember, the most extraordinary things take time. Mountains rise slowly, stars are born in silence, and you are unfolding in your own divine rhythm. You don't owe the world a timeline. What you owe yourself is truth, wholeness, peace. You are not late to your own life. You're exactly where your soul is ready to be. If this message found you in a moment of doubt, let it be your reminder. Your becoming is enough. Your presence is enough. You are enough. Now take that truth with you, carry it into the world, and become slowly, gently, powerfully, the person only you were born to be.